Now, as soon as George was about to pull off on the bike, I asked George, "Where you going at?" And George spoke and said, "I'm gonna stop by Reggie's car wash to get my bike clean before I go to the job interview." Then I spoke and said, "For sure, I'm right behind you." And as soon as I was about to get in my truck, Mr. Officer Daniel stopped me and said, "Hold up, Mr. Simmons, right there. I got to talk to you right quick. I got to ask you some questions." And I spoke and said, "Okay, Mr. Daniels, what's up?" Then Mr. Daniels asked me, "So when you got back in town?" And I looked back at Mr. Daniels and I said, "I got back in town this morning." Then Officer Daniels spoke and said, "When you see your cousin Big Reese and Starks, tell them I'm gonna lock them up, cause I know they're the two around here robbing these banks." Then I spoke and said, "When I see them boys, I'll tell them." The Officer Daniels spoke and said, "Now you and George get out here before I lock y'all two up." Then I said, "For sure, Officer Danielson." Then I hopped in my truck and I cranked it up. Then I backed up. Then me and George drove away. Now on top of the Greek God mountain, there was a Greek God temple. Then we landed on the Greek God battlefield. Then the God Patricia spoke and said, "You can stay here with us and we can protect you until we find a way to destroy the God of destruction." Then the Pharaoh Amaral spoke and said, "Okay." Now back in the God of destruction prison, a portal opened up in front of Lucifer in the darkness. Then the God of destruction and the Egyptian mummy god came walking through the portal. And once the God of destruction came to the portal, he walked straight to the darkness and said, "Take me to the Greek God mountains."